Woj, if you're here, who's watching your son shams? And
that's a compliment.
And I think he got mad. I understood. He got mad. He was like, why? He told other people, why am I trying to start stuff between them?
What?
Whatever. I'm sorry. Adrian, I'm sorry.
Welcome to episode 3 of Casuals. I'm CJ Toledano, your host. This is a laid-back NBA talk show. I've explained what this is before, but it's episode 3. You should know by now. Now, I'm not going to waste any time bullshitting with my life shit because we have 2 legends in the building. There must be something going on in the industry right now that we're able to get. Oh, you turn. Is that on?
No, it was. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to fuck with
Josiah, you can't get the fucking producer brain out of them. We got 2 legends in the building right now. You guys might know them from NBA Twitter. Might know them from the TV and movies that they've worked on. I'll give you guys credits each, okay? We got over here to my left our first guest, writer, creator of Legends of Chamberlain Heights on Comedy Central's. Our first, listen, it sounds like we have a studio audience. There's really 3 people in here. Legends of Chamberlain Heights, host, producer of Gil's Arena. Ladies and gentlemen, Josiah Johnson.
Thank you, guys. It's NBA X now. I don't think we're Twitter.
My bad.
We're NBA X.
Elon got you, man.
XXX.
I'm calling it Twitter.
No, always.
To his left, you may know him from The Ringer, Grantland, former writer, personality. Now he's, in addition, hosting X-Ray Vision, Take Line, NBA Desktop, you may have seen. But recently, we're not promoting these, but he had a hand in them. He wrote them. Primo on Amazon.
Primo is a show on a network that I can't mention, but
okay.
you can mention it.
Oh yeah, the grocery company.
That's right. And then last week, a movie I co-wrote with 4-time New York Times bestseller Shea Serrano called Miguel Wants to Fight, premiered on a streaming platform that I again won't mention because I'm on strike.
You didn't mention it. Yeah.
They fucking up bags with this strike, man. They fucking up bags with this. I had a bag coming from another show on another network that had to pass on.
Listen, we're just taking a break from getting the bags. I think that's what's happening right now. And we're going to fit, the bags are going to be much bigger and correct when this thing is over.
This is a wonderful manifestation, CJ.
Based on today's news in the much distant future. But I did I wanted to just say, I mean, we're all from the NBA Twitter world, but holy shit. I mean, when I first knew about you guys, I was already looking up to you, impressed as fuck. But like, what everyone is doing now is truly insane. And it's like NBA Twitter or NBA X, whatever it was, looked like Frisbee compared to what everyone is doing right now. Like, how are you guys pulling it off? What are you guys up to? Fill everyone in what's been going on.
Well, I want to hear all the things that Joe is up to.
I do basic things now. Gil's Arena, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. At Gil's Arena's YouTube.
You know the clips.
Oh, yeah, we've been doing
conversations.
But that's all Gil shit. So just to be able to work with Gil and that crew, Brandon Jennings, Rashad McCants, Kenya Martin, Miko Grimes, that whole team, doing some good shit. We just got Steph Curry. That was a very good interview. I was very nervous for that. We got some other good shit coming. I had Andre Iguodala and Evan Turner. That was cool too. Yeah. So just doing that shit. Obviously, the bread and butter used to be the writing, but we're on strike now. And the one thing I do know about high-level Caucasian men, they will always get their bags back. So we may get a little bread now, but somewhere, some way, somebody's going to get fucked again. We'll be doing this again in the near future.
Yeah, exactly. Jason,
yes.
I mean, I feel like you've been on a little bit of hiatus from the NBA, but sure. I know we talked before. I mean, I'm not going to speak for you, but what have you been working on and what can we expect in the NBA world?
Well, I've been writing for TV, the show Primo. It's out. I call it the critically acclaimed television program.
It's very good.
Primo. People seem to like it. Again, it's on a platform that I can't mention. Writing for movies. I sold a book, which I'm 7 months behind in delivering. I'm so sorry to my book agent.
Quality takes time.
If you see me right now on this stream that I'm not working on it, I work on it. I'll tell you right now, 10 a.m. to noon, 10 p.m. to midnight. Every day.
That's really
4 hours.
Yeah.
That's a good shift.
That's what I do.
Good shifts.
So I'm working on it. I promise you. Developing stuff, being on strike, hoping we get that bag, and just working on the book. I got to deliver the book, you guys.
Yeah. I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, I was going to ask you like how we've been able to get to these things. I mean, you have a schedule, but I mean, yeah, we talked about we've all, some more than others. I'm the fucking, you guys are the pioneers of NBA Twitter, NBA X now. How does that how is that the foundation for what you guys are doing now? For people who are like watching this show and be like, oh, there's fucking legends on this. I want the inspirational story. How does that anchor into what you're doing now?
My experience was when when Twitter first popped off, I joined because I wanted to be able to better run my fantasy basketball teams. Like, there was this was like, internet 1.5, when you couldn't see who was injured unless you were following a beat reporter from a team. So I would follow all these beat reporters, right? That's what it was. And then I just started tweeting about games. I was working like at a restaurant and delivering leather goods for my friend's handbag company.
God damn.
And then I just started tweeting during games commentary, and I quickly found that there was like a real community doing that. And a lot of the people that I fell in first were like dudes that worked at Slam that I already I was like, holy shit, I already looked up to these guys, so that was really cool. And it just kind of built from there. It was at a time when like people were naive to what social media was. And it was just this cool, seemed really cool.
Yeah.
And it really was. There was a vibe early on. And I, like a lot of people from that generation, managed to somehow shyster our way into careers from that.
Josiah?
I think for me, probably really started, I think that 2011 lockout was the first time, but that was like the Wild Wild West back then. A bunch of us, it's funny just even thinking now, like Cassie, Athena, all these people were kind of just getting into the game, pulling up to the Drew League, pulling up to these spots, doing stuff. And that was kind of the first iteration, but honestly, I fucking hate social media. So I didn't really, I always looked at it as like a time waste. Like, what am I going to be doing on this thing? But then once I got Legend of Chamberlain Heights, had that show, understood what the marketing budget was going to be for the show, did the math on it, was like, there's no fucking way that anybody's going to know about this show from seeing billboards and magazines and things like that. So started running that account, just going heavy, and then really started to get a love for it. But it's crazy. When I was doing the show, I was writing, producing, and doing 5 to 7 voices every episode. So literally I'd be in the VO booth and I'd just be getting tweets out, just doing all types of crazy shit, be in the writer's room, and literally I had this app where I could like follow and unfollow like 10,000 people in a day, but I could only follow 100 people, and then it would put it on pause for a minute. So if you can imagine, do that time in your head where literally I would follow 10,000 people with 1 minute delays every 100 follows, and then built up that account. And then the whole time I was doing that, my wife was kind of in my ear like, yo, I don't know why you're doing Comedy Central's job for him. This show ever goes away, you're not going to have anything to show for it. Didn't really listen to her then. Show got canceled. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it on my own account. Then just started building up, man, and really having fun. Just kind of, it reminded me, I played college basketball at UCLA. It reminded me a lot, just being in the locker room, dudes cracking jokes, getting that kind of brand of humor and just putting it out. And like you said, we're all watching games. And back in the day, we were younger as kids, we would see shit. You'd have to wait to school on Monday to talk about it. Oh, did you see that play? Did you see this? Whatever. And now in literally real time, and then to see the different versions of Twitter, whatever it's called now. But back in the day, you couldn't, they didn't have native video on Twitter.
Yeah.
So you had to literally wait for the shit to pop up on YouTube. Then you run back over, grab the YouTube link, throw it back on Twitter. Then you have to click the link, watch it. So just to see the different iterations, and now the ability in real time, people like Worldwide Wob and other people, CJ Fogler and those whole crew that have become masters, even Jose 3030 for like the old head Twitter people.
3030.
And he just chills now and lingers. But I'm like, bro, you have no clue the impact you had on a whole generation to be able to get clips out so fast, and just to see that world explode. And like you mentioned, all the people now who have other jobs from it. And that's the main thing I tell people when they get into it. It's like, look, find your voice, find your lane. Don't try to be like somebody else.
Yeah.
But the opportunities that you'll be able to create for yourself if you leverage and build your following. And now looking at even this kind of new generation of kids, obviously got a little weird with like the 14-year-olds and all the hater accounts and fucking the assholes. But all these people that actually see the value in it, that are doing it, that are now doing cool shit and getting jobs as a result of it. For me, it always kind of makes my heart flutter, makes me smile to see people now that didn't have any clue what they could do with this thing, and now are literally getting checks from companies like, direct deposited into their account because of the work they're doing.
Well, and that's what I like about your story. And your story, you had mentioned like you working for a leather handbag place. It's like, in Josiah, when I, from coming across people in the industry, they're like, oh, I remember Josiah, he was working in the tape room at NFL Network.
For sure.
Like Jason, you're on camera, you're, for a fucking journalist for a long time, people were like, oh, I know Jason's name, or I know network. And then it's like you were on camera, and then now you're writing TV shows and movies. It's like you can't be afraid. You can't like say I'm this role and that role only.
I kind of lucked into it again. I think it was just I had gotten to a point in my life where when they turned the cameras on, I didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't. There was a time when I'd be like, do I have the authority to like say a thing or write a thing? And I'd gotten past that where just like, I don't care. I'm gonna say this. Not that I say crazy stuff, but I'm just gonna be the person that I am, whether it's geeky or weird or whatever. I think too much about the NBA. You know, I spent too much time watching Ricky Rubio YouTube videos. Like I'm just that person. And so I'm just gonna be that person and not try to be cool. And that's when it kind of clicked. And people are like, oh, you're good on camera. Like, okay, let's keep doing it.
Which
then.
is wild. No formal training. I don't think anybody on this crew.
No.
And that's the joke I used to always tell people when I worked at NFL Network, and that's where I got my start. Fox Sports, NFL Network, PA, doing graphics, all the shit you see that pops up on the screen. There's literally like human beings that are manually making those, throwing those on. But I'm just like, yo, that's like, we all just started in these kind of crazy, just basic jobs. No formal training. I would work with all these fucking kids that went to Northwestern and Syracuse, and I went to broadcast journalism school, and then some shit would hit the fan, and it's like, motherfucker, them textbooks ain't gonna help you right now. We're about to go 12, 14, 18 hours straight. Like, I remember the draft, working NFL drafts back in the old days. That shit was literally like 15 to 18 hours on like a Friday or Saturday. Then you had to come back the next day and go 15 straight hours. My big ass is sitting in a production truck outside of Radio City Music Hall, fucking like scrambling. You know, and the whole thing with that shit was like, they would try to trap you. You would just see the young kids come in like it would be Taco Day. You don't fuck with Taco Day. It's like, I did it one time and literally sprinted through like Arizona Convention Center during the Super Bowl week while the show's on there. I'm supposed to be working, trying to find a bathroom. So just things like that. But you'd see the new kids come in. It was literally like, yo, don't fuck with Taco Day. Like, they would try to set you up and literally had to grind in your mind to be able to work 18, 20 straight hours, do that shit 7, 8, 10 straight days and get back into it. Now life is a lot easier. Like, I get to do shit like this and be in front of the camera with you gentlemen. And I remember you back in the day, it was just like a handle. Like, it was like, oh, I like the shit that you're posting. And it's funny, like, you connect with people on social media and Twitter and end up developing stronger relationships than like your own friends and family. Like, because I'm just waiting to see what you guys are posting. Then I noticed, damn, you ain't fucking tweeted in a couple of days. Like, you all right, darling? What's going on? Like, everything good in your life? But yo, so that's just a cool thing of this whole culture and world. And now it's like, you know, not to say that, you know, we're not the cool kids or whatever, but we've all just kind of met with each other, interacted, crossed paths in different professions, done each other's shows and hung out. And now, like, you know, just the world that's kind of formed around that. And we're all just regular people, like normal shit, just like basketball, like talking shit. And now we're making, like, I used to work with a bunch of talent and host at NFL Network, and now I'm literally in the same tax bracket as them. They are my peers now.
When you
and it really bothers
them. You start seeing them curating video, and you're like, oh, and reposting memes. You're like, oh, you're trying to understand this, and you're like 8 years too late.
You have no clue what you're doing. I run this world, big dog. The same shit you used to make me eat back when I was working for you. Now you have to eat that shit because you're washed and you have no idea what's going on.
Send me a list of all the people we need to send this clip to.
They'll watch it.
Well, but actually, that leads into, we keep talking about the benefits of this, but was there ever a time for you guys where the shit kind of backfired, or, you know, any sort of beast where you're like, ooh, maybe I haven't thought of the potential of what this can get me into?
Yeah.
No, you know what? I always kind of knew that there were lines. You know, I think part of what's made me able to be successful with this is just knowing not to get into it. You know, what's the line, like, two people are beefing. I'm paraphrasing now the rap lyric. You know, if no one can tell who the fool is, I'm absolutely destroying.
Is that Jay-Z? Yeah.
Jay-Z.
Wise man said don't argue with fools because people from a distance can't tell who
I'm not going to get into a back and forth with like, you know, bong hitter 69 like on Twitter. And that's how I see a lot of people fuck up.
Yes.
Like, they just get heated. Their blood gets up because someone challenges them on a thing. Do you even watch the fucking games? Next thing you know, you're on a tirade.
Yeah.
Where people have to reach out to you over text, be like, dog, just stop. Like, I, you know, wisely, I guess, just never got involved in that. I would just never go back at people. I just be like, you feel that way? Great. You're screaming in the void, my guy. I'm not getting into it.
So I had a beef one time, and I remember this shit because it was clear as day. It was kind of the first time I realized, like, I just got to chill out. But Gerard Butler had pulled up to, like, Michigan State football or something, and I kind of said
Gerard Butler of 300?
Jerry Butler.
Like, is there another athlete?
Jerry Butler.
Oh,
so he pulled up. I tweeted something about it. They paid him to do it, whatever. Ended up getting to a back and forth with this person. They were going at me hard, like we were going at each other. And for me, whenever I feel like, this shit might be, enter from the Twitter world to reality, I'm like, all right, let me do my due diligence,
Yeah.
fucking figure out who this person is, like in case some shit goes down. Literally found this person on Facebook. It was like a 65-year-old like grandmother somewhere. I'm just like, I had the person, the character I built in my mind who I was arguing with versus the reality of who it was. And then the other thing was I used to do these Jalen Ramsey videos. He was my favorite player in the NFL, but he had that, I think, back and forth with Steve Smith, like, you tell me or whatever. Like, so I did a bunch of videos. He ended up blocking me, and I was like, damn, like, first, like, damn, I know he's seen these shits now. So I was like, damn, is it going to be beef, whatever. He's since followed me. We're cool now. But I always look back at that moment like, yo, I probably shouldn't have been doing that shit because I'm going to have to. I actually saw him at the ESPYs for the first time last year.
Yeah.
But he said what up and gave me the dap. I'm like, all right, bro, we're all good. But just getting in the game, like not really knowing what you're doing. And then I think that's the thing about NBA Twitter for the young people that I try to tell them is like, look, you're going to have to see these fucking people at some point.
If it goes right, you're going to have to see
there's going to be an All-Star weekend. There's going to be Super Bowl. There's going to be Summer League. You're going to see. These are all real people.
You know who I have a beef with?
Okay.
Or he doesn't like me. Woj. Woj doesn't like me.
Woj is definitely not watching the show, so please.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
And as I understand it, what happened was I was covering the All-Star game in Charlotte. And I believe what I said to him as I was kind of walking by, as I said, Woj, if you're here, who's watching your son Shams? And
That's a compliment.
And I think he got mad. I understood. He got mad. He was like, why? He told other people, why am I trying to start stuff between them?
What?
Whatever. I'm sorry. Adrian, I'm sorry.
Then we call him government.
It's really good. Can I take that?
Yes,
Adrian, he's sorry.
I meant it as a compliment to your influence over the coverage of the sport. And I was just having a little fun. I apologize.
So he used to follow me, and I have no beef with Woj. I met him probably like 4 or 5 years ago. My dad was getting his jersey retired in Milwaukee. I went out a month early to the Bucks facility to hang out, and Woj and Malika were there. I think Malika was doing a interview with Giannis, but Woj was there kind of just at the facility, so we said what up. But he used to follow me, but I think when he got caught for that, or when he got caught up or suspended by ESPN for going at, who was that, Howley or whatever?
Yes.
The Missouri dude. So I tweeted like some Denzel Washington X videos of like how he was going to come back out of that ESPN jail. So I think he saw that. Unfollow me. I'm like, damn, Woj, the unfollow chief? We're peers now.
Yeah, I thought that was a compliment.
I was giving him love. I was like, yo, I'm rocking with you.
It's just wild how much a lot of this does seem like high school type shit. It's, I won't say who, but there's someone who works alongside of him. And, with the culture, his culture was like getting breaking news and rumors and shit and like just simply tweeting it or writing stories about it back in his day. And now this culture of like getting highlights up, stuff that isn't just dunks and crossovers, like someone's pants falling down. We got to get that on social immediately. And so my friend was just doing his job and posted that and then got a text from Adrian.
Wow.
And was like, we got to take that down. That's one of my inside sources. That's like one of my go-to guys for like information. And it's just like, he's being to pants. We got to show the world that. We got to push that up. But it's so crazy when you start threatening some of these guys' money or like how serious they think it can get, where, again, just going back to how this whole thing started was us just trying to get on the internet and fuck around and talk about the thing we like.
That's the thing. If it goes right, these are the currents you're going to have to navigate.
Yes. You're going to have to see the Katie's. I just did an interview with Steph. As you guys know, I'm a big LeBron guy and never had an issue with Steph. Love Steph. Think he's amazing for the league. It was always just Steph fans. So I have a great ability to troll. I will come at Steph fans, not coming at Steph. And everybody will pull, oh, man, you said this, that about Steph. I also said fucking thousands of positive things, too, and gave him tons of positive tweets. Shit that he likes. He actually follows me. So it was never like any beef or issue. It was just with you motherfuckers. You want to make shit personal? I'll make shit personal, too. I've got and my thing is when people block me or do shit like that, I'll see who they're fans of. Then I'll just deliberately put out content geared towards that fan base. So all the people that still follow will pump that shit in their account, and then they'll have to just fucking click and see what's going on.
No, I mean, you clearly know what you're doing. That's like probably my number one compliment for you. Whenever I see like your moves, like it's chess, not checkers type line, that's for a dude like you.
Well, I'm old now and washed and literally like multiple T-ball and coach pitch and basketball, and I'm assistant coach in high school basketball, doing all this shit with Gil, so I don't get to be as active. And, once certain factors happened a few months ago that made Twitter a less desirable place to want to hang out, kind of just like don't get to do it as much. But when I come, I'm always going to try to come with some good shit, come with some stuff that keep people entertained. And ultimately, if I can make you guys laugh, that's I'm saying, but I don't really have this huge target that I'm trying to hit. If I can make a couple people I know laugh at what I'm putting out, that actually understand what's going on, can see the deeper meaning in the shit I'm doing, then for me, I'm fulfilled. Ultimately, if it makes me laugh, I'm good. And, you had to learn how, once the trolls kind of came in and shit started getting nasty, which Twitter, like when it first started, you could literally hit famous people and they would respond right
They
back.
respond right back. They get right
It
back.
was wild.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, like fucking,
Barack Obama just came to me.
like he's just happy just like you to be like, oh, using this cool shit. And then slowly but surely it turned into this thing. And then all these fake. And my thing is like, anybody who has beef, like just pull up, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But when it's like a fake account, and my thing too is like, it's a fake account, but I know who's behind it because I can see the projection. I can see the real pain in the things that they're tweeting. Like, oh, we really know each other. We really know each other, and you're really mad about shit that's going on because it's like the way you're talking, like an average human wouldn't feel that way. So I think people, you're not as sneaky as you think you are. So I'll just tell you guys that, like the way you misspell the same words, the fucking sentence structures that you think you're doing behind your burner account.
Fucking NBA Zodiac.
But you talk like that in your regular account. Like this shit is not confusing to a human being that spends hours and hours and hours. Like we're all degenerates. We don't have lives. So I'm just literally looking at structures and shit, trying to figure out, oh, you spell that word. You misspell that word the same way that this burner account does.
Yeah.
And this is a basic common English word that people should be able to spell correctly. So,
well, I did want, because we were fans when we started doing this stuff, and you talk about being able to talk to celebrities and them talk to you guys, but they were still carrying that air of celebrity, right? There was still that distinction between us and them. But now, and this might be a sensitive topic for you, Josiah, but now we're seeing NBA players almost take a page out of our books and they're starting their own podcast. Like it was one thing to take over their social media and have teams, but now we're getting a lot of NBA player podcasts. And I wanted to ask you guys, both of you guys, are there too many? I feel like, in my opinion, there's only a few that are really actually doing it well. What do you guys think of like the state of NBA players hosting their own podcasts?
Well, I'll jump in and just say, for me, I know we're all media, but I fucking dislike the media. I just think, again, we got caught in no disrespect to ESPN, but in this world where media started to feel like they were the athletes and they've kind of now have these egos and this arrogance with how they move. And generally fucking 99% of the athletes you meet are cool. It's always those ones that are caught kind of like, the more famous. Like I got to meet Steph. I'm waiting for Steph to walk in. I'm thinking like, fuck, he might try to jam me up for some shit. Just dab, what's up, Josiah? I'm like, oh shit, Steph knows my name. Like, it's like, damn, Steph, I literally first question I asked him, like, bro, you're the most likable asshole in NBA history. You love our Warriors fans. You fucking tormented players I love, but ultimately I have a deep respect for them. Where I feel like a lot of these guys have started to become and girls started to become arrogant and really feel like they're the athletes. And for me, I always saw a world where if I'm a player, why the fuck am I going to ask you a question that you're like, you've seen the media side. They'll deliberately ask questions to try to set you up for whatever narrative that they've crafted in their mind for the article they want to write, not realizing what's going on behind the scenes and the other shit. And even going back to fucking way back 70s, 80s, 90s, I remember as a kid in the 80s reading articles and being like, well, shit, if that person wrote in the article, it must be true about this guy they're writing about, not realizing the agents and all the other shit that goes on and the big money that goes on behind the scenes to help craft those narratives. So for me, with those guys, it's twofold. Like, yeah, I'm a fan of the podcast, all the guys that are doing shit, but also it's like watching The Last Dance, or I just watched Swamp Kings Untold, and it's like everything you fucking put in this thing has been told. Like, and it's literally Urban Meyer and Tebow and all these guys telling it from their perspective. It's like, where are the arrests and where are all the fucking, other shit in the dark side that was going on behind this shit? So everybody wants to tell these positive stories. And even Last Dance, a great documentary if you want to call it that. But the reality is Michael Jordan had Final Cut. So how the fuck you can tell a good story about MJ if he's literally sitting in the editing room? And like one of the biggest no-nos we talk about in production, like you don't show the other person the interview what somebody's saying about them to get their response. Like it was cool for that thing and everybody kind of laughed while it's going on. But for people who actually work on that side, like that's like fucking the biggest no-no. And I'm not going to tell you what somebody else said about, so now you can figure out the answer you want to give back. Like, no, everything's supposed to be off the top. So for me, I love to see what these guys are doing. And the last thing I'll say is that I love to see what they're doing, but everybody thinks like, oh, I'm just going to turn mics on and turn cameras on.
It's not that
this
easy.
shit is hard.
It's not that easy.
Like, and it took me literally probably doing like 50 episodes with Gil of No Chill and now the show we're doing now for actually felt comfortable and good doing this shit. And I still don't think I'm good. I literally go to bed every night like, yo, I'm gonna fucking fail tomorrow and the show's gonna suck. And I kind of need that pressure on me. So it's not like you don't see like a 1-for-1, like the bigger the star. There's great ones out there. Podcast P, Pat Bev, Draymond, obviously everybody's doing good shit. But everybody thinks, oh, I'm just gonna turn the cameras on, turn the mic on. And it's like, unless you're going to be your authentic and organic self, if you're trying to go on this thing, like the camera doesn't lie. You can't play a character, even with you guys. I fucking did a show today, had T-ball, whatever. I can sit here and come and just have a organic conversation with you guys. same convo, minus kind of whatever. I want names and shit. But if the cameras weren't here, like we just have that, there's some shit obviously we have to be private and personal about, but at the end of the day, we're going to be open and transparent. So for those guys to come out and do it and actually embrace what's going on and be themselves. But I know when I'm looking at a canned answer, I know when I'm interviewing somebody, they start giving me the bullshit lines. It's like, motherfucker, I've watched 10 of your interviews. I know you were waiting that thing you thought was so catchy, like you were waiting to get that in. I did everything in my power to avoid it, and you still found a way to fucking sneak that thing back in there.
I think it's good. I think it's smart, first of all. It's just a smart business decision. Cut out the middleman. What do fans of sport want? They want the stories. They want to get behind the curtain. Now, the, ESPN, Fox Sports, whoever, whatever platform purport to give it to you. But, sports journalism is in a really weird place.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about like Watergate, guys. Like there's, we don't need to get in there granularly. But even with that being the case, the reporting is not, there's a lot of other stuff going on to kind of underline what Joe said.
Yeah.
There's a lot of relationships being serviced. There's a lot of other things going on to feed that narrative. And then again, if I'm ESPN, whoever, you want that headline, you want that snippet, you want that quote that pops, like so-and-so rips whoever.
Yeah.
Giannis wants out of Milwaukee.
Yep.
That kind of thing. And that might not always be what was said when you get the full context of the thing. I think the podcasts are great. Yep. Some of them aren't as good as others, but the marketplace will figure that out. Like people will go where the interesting stories are, and I think that's happening.
And that's a great point, because what I was going to say, the misconception, and I think, I don't know if it's the same in every other industry, but the biggest NBA stars don't necessarily have the best podcast.
Yeah,
like,
that's
I wasn't thinking of Jeff T.
Nobody was talking about Jeff T.
Oh my God.
Except
every
to
Jeff
say,
T clip come out.
Except to say, Jeff T, why are you always letting me down? That was the only thing anybody was saying about Jeff T. And Jeff, man, he's one of the funniest guys out there and has wonderful stories. Crazy stories with this wonderful perspective where he's often like being as critical of himself, as anyone else. I think he's been a revelation, man. His stuff is really fun.
And Gil too, the same thing. It's like he gets his people around, like you get your people around you. Because how many of these shows have we been a part of, or like where they're assembled by a brand and you're just like, okay, cool. We met 5 minutes ago and we're going to cover the NBA news. These guys are like, we're talking the barbershop, we're talking the living room, we're in the car, just kicking it. Like, you're going to get better stuff that way. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really like with the vibe of like Gil's show kind of set that for everybody. And what were you going to say?
I was going to say, so, I'll tell you guys and everybody watching. So like a year or so ago, I got offered the opportunity, like you're talking manufactured, kind of engineered and lab shows, got offered a shitload of money by another company. But, we're launching this new show. We want you to come do it. Then they told me the other talent involved. I'm like, look, I respect the fuck out of all these people, but you're telling me I got to leave Gil to go do this shit? Are you fucking nuts? Like, I'm fucking rolling with Gil till the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
Because Gil, as crazy as people think, strategic, smart, and will literally almost to a fault say shit that, like you guys think the show's crazy. There's so much shit that I have working with him now. We've been together for almost like 2 years now. Where it's like, you can't say that on TV, dog.
Yeah.
And he'll just be like, why?
But y'all have the chemistry. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You can develop it, but when you have it, you got to roll with it. You got to roll with it because that's the magic.
And even starting with him, when I first got in, I kind of came in as like old head dinosaur mentality. Like, we got to get the gotcha shit and this, that, whatever. He's like, no, man, we want this to be the spot where the guys want to come in, and then they'll organically and naturally kind of say that stuff. And just knowing that fine line, like we don't ever want to put guys or paint them in a negative light, because that's what they get so much for the other media out there. And like I said, a lot of journalists come in with agendas. And for me, I think for you guys at home, the shit started turning. I think free agency, once they started announcing like the deals, but now it's like the agent and the player deals. So it's like, it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to realize, like, all right, well, now when I hear something about 3-4 months down the road about the same player, who is the source? Is there a new source? Is there just a wealth of sources? No, it's like, fuck, everybody's kind of got their hands in each other's pockets. You got fucking, these insiders that are rep by the same agencies as players, and all this shit has gotten just super muddy. And honestly, it's not journalism anymore. So as long as you take it all with a grain of salt, the same way as when I'm watching a Last Dance or a Swamp Kings or a Johnny football or whatever. It's like, I know what I'm gonna get when I'm watching this shit. It's gonna be a lot of fucking meat slurping and glazing of whoever the subject of that piece is. A lot of shit that's left out. It's like, wait a minute, motherfuckers. Like, I was around for this shit. I was a big Florida fan when that shit was going on. There was a lot of shit you guys were not talking about that y'all were getting into. For me, it was like, this shit was closer to the program than it was to the shit you guys are trying to paint this thing as. But as long as you accept that as a fan and move forward with that, you're not going to get that kind of honest and earnest shit. And at least with the players, like, everybody has their own narratives. Everybody's going to craft things a certain way. But now they get to, like, somebody like Draymond doing podcasts right after their finals game and telling you I fucking sucked. Like, or, after, like, a situation goes down with, like, him and Poole and owning up to it and being able to talk about it. Of course, he's going to control that narrative. He's going to give you as much as he wants to give you. But that's so much better than now me relying on a journalist, and no disrespect to journalists out there who also have their own narrative they want to craft, that I'm deliberately going to ask you, CJ, questions that are just going to try to get the story that I want to get. And those words on paper don't ever, you might be jokingly say some shit. I can write it down on paper and it makes it look like you were fucking pissed. And like, it's like, motherfucker, I was fucking just kidding when I said that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I did want to talk about current NBA stuff, but man, that was incredible. I feel like that is an absolute open door into what we've gone through and almost the state of NBA Twitter. But on sort of that same point of player empowerment, we're seeing this Dame and Blazer situation continue to happen. Now, I'm sure we've talked about this on several different platforms, but like today he came out, reporters are asking him, what's going on with the Blazers? Are you talking to him? And he's just like, I'm not going to talk about the Blazers. I love Dame, but of course you're sitting in front of him because they want you to talk about the Blazers. Like, at what point, like, does he owe the media anything? He's going to sit down for these interviews. Does he owe an answer about that, a take on that? And where the hell is he going?
Man, you got to just hand out a card like before the thing, 10 minutes before. That's like, we will not be speaking about the Blazers.
Yeah.
But also, like, from a money, I mean, guys are getting fined now for the things that they may or may not have said or meant when they talk about the team they are currently with that they are trying to leave. I can't blame Dame for being like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to get hit in the checkbook.
That's
man.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, but watching the interview, I don't want to talk about it, but like, let's talk about it. Yeah, I did say fucking and for me, on my mind, I'm thinking, and obviously that Harden $100K fine, I think the interview was done before that shit popped off. It's like, if I'm Dame's camp, and that's the thing too, and I know you probably get it a lot, and you, CJ, as well. Sometimes when you interview these guys, I'm not a fan now, and I'll reject interview opportunities if it's like, you can't fucking tell me what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. You know how we move on this show.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to respect whoever you like. I had a fucking interview a while ago, and they were like, "Yo, like, you can't talk basketball with him." And I'm like, he's a fucking basketball player. Like, what? That's his little. I'm not going to talk to him about his fucking profession. Like, we're not doing this canned bullshit. Like, this is what we're talking about. Like, we'll do it there's things going on. We're going to talk about those things. We'll do it in a respectful way and give him the opportunity. Yeah. But for Dame, and much respect to Mark Spears, who did that interview, I know Mark had, a ton of respect for Dame.
Sure.
He's got to do his job. Like that Stephen A. clip, I think that was on Podcast P. Like, you got an editor who's like, yo, motherfucker, if you don't ask this question, you're going to be out of work. So he's got to do his job. For Dame, he's given so much to the Blazers. You would love to see the Blazers take care of him, let him kind of go where he wants to go. Not always the best thing to be like, well, look, I'm only going to the fucking Heat. Keep the options open. Like, say that publicly, like, I'll go to four or five, six different teams. And then probably like, yo, if any other motherfucking teams besides the Heat, like, come to me, I'm not going to any of them. So y'all figure it out. But I do respect Dame because he's kept a lot of that stuff behind closed doors. And it's not like there's a beef with the city of Portland. I know he loves the fans. It's just like, look at our squad. Like, no sales tax, cool. But look at our squad. Portland's a great city. I love it. No sales tax, $2 bills.
Jason, where do you think he's going?
He's going to end up in Miami.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. But I also agree, like, you can't make it public that that's the only place you want to go. You tell your front office, keep it quiet, and it will happen because that's the way the NBA works now.
Yeah.
Guy wants to go somewhere, they'll go there.
Both sides of it, though, right? Because Dame's got his camp. His camp is probably leaking in information. The Blazers have their side. And I think we saw this a few years ago with the AD to the Lakers trade, right? It was the worst trade ever. And the Pelicans robbed the Lakers and da-da-da-da-da. It's like fucking championship bubble, hardest championship ever, 2020. What are y'all doing? And much love to Zion and the rest of that Pelicans crew. But so we as fans, we start to hear things and we start to craft these things in our mind. And that's not the reality of what's going on. Yeah. Like, you think Pelinka regrets making that trade? Like, fuck no. Like,
No, and that's one thing we got to respect about Dame is like, I don't think Dame to Miami is an automatic championship where a lot of these like KD's trying to go to the, record winning or regular season record Warriors. Like they're going to have a road,
That
like a
team's
hard road.
41 years old,
Yes,
average.
exactly. Let them go play with some other old heads who are, they on record are friends. They're friends. They didn't meet. They didn't call in a parking lot. Hey, come join us. We had a fluke crazy, comeback loss. So, I kind of want them to get over. I do think in a lot of ways, Portland is being childish and carrying it on.
I think they got pressed, because it can't feel good when your iconic star is like, look at this team that you assembled around me. If I'm the executive, I'm probably thinking, well, yeah, I was fucking trying to make you happy. We getting all these guys. We're trying to do this for you. And now you're shitting on it. So I think I think they're pressed. They got pressed at the criticism from their own guy.
Well, so Jason, you brought up earlier the Giannis story that just came out today, where he's already saying, "Hey, at the end of this next season, we're on the same page. I'm going to start considering." So that's not pressing? He's giving him a season heads up. So what do you think about players sort of just like getting it out, like knowing how the media works, getting out there, like, "Hey, it's time to start considering some other options"?
For me, for the Giannis thing, it makes me kind of laugh. It's like, well, shit, we're going to get a championship. It's going to be because of you, dog. So, like, you're a big part of this equation. Like, we're not getting it without you. So what are you saying? You're going to give maximum effort. If you deliver maximum effort and those situations don't happen, then we can talk. But like we're all saying, like, once that KD and Kyrie and Harden to the Nets thing happened and they didn't just steamroll through the East, at that point, like, none of this shit means anything anymore. And even KD coming to the Suns, sounds great, looks great on paper, but there's so many other good teams around the league that it's not that surefire KD going to the 73-win Warriors when you just knew why even play the season. Let's just put it on simulation mode and, move down the road. But even 2019, obviously some injuries happened, some shit that impacts the Warriors. And now literally the Raptors, who were getting smacked by LeBron for years and years and years, LeBron goes to the West and now they get to win a championship. So you never really know. We all kind of, in our mind, will envision what's going to happen, but I think there's so many good teams in the league. And that's why even Dame going to the Heat, that doesn't really move the needle for me. Like, it'll be a great team to watch. Like, I don't think this is a championship team by any stretch of the imagination. But then again, you got Spo, the Filipino legend, what they've been able to do with nothing. And now you give them Dame, like, all right, they should get to that level, but you still got to go through Giannis. Like, there's still squads out there that are going to give you trouble. You still got to go through the Celtics.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just
the Knicks.
Yeah.
Hey, I think the genie's out of the bottle with players using the media in that way to try and get their franchise to improve the team. We grew up with TNT, decades of Thursday night games in which Charles Barkley is getting roasted for being the only guy on that on that day as who hasn't won a championship. And I think dudes just don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Now Giannis has one, but you got to get that chip or people are just going to dog you.
Yeah.
And it really means a lot, like in the overall narrative of who's the best and where you stand in the pantheon of players, I think. And we've talked so much about the media. The media makes so much of a big deal about it too.
Yeah.
They make a huge deal about it. And I mean, the Bucks had a great season last year and kind of fell apart. Health issues. Giannis played his heart out. Maybe didn't take on the defensive assignments that he could have taken on. Maybe he should be working on his free throws and stuff like that.
Fair.
Those are just little, that's, just little things maybe he could do. But you got to put pressure on your team if you don't think that they're, carrying the weight that they need to carry.
Yeah.
I get it.
Like, there's 30 teams in the NBA. And unfortunately, and this is no disrespect to people that live in these cities, there's some shitty cities that nobody's going to go to.
Yeah.
I like Portland. Like I said, no sales tax, great wineries.
We like, Portland, LA, good.
Yep.
But I'm just saying I'm not going to go. If I have my options to go to LA or go to Phoenix or go to, for me, it's like weather. It rains too much, Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
Like, if I can go to LA, I can go to Phoenix, I can go to the Bay, get tech bread. Even New York, which is obviously way overpriced and people smells like pee-pee, but still. But I can go to Miami. And even Orlando, which I'm confused why they suck. Like, Disney World's right there. Like, why, they got Universal Studios and Disney World.
Yeah.
Like, why, like.
I just, there probably wasn't there's not a culture of winning anything there.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
like everyone's came up short there from Shaq.
But great jerseys.
Yeah. Great.
Bring the pinstripes back. I'm rocking with you.
You mentioned Eric Spoelstra, and it'd be remiss to not mention and show love. The FIBA World Cup is kicking off.
That's right.
In Manila, in the Philippines. you obviously, again, meeting you in person, Jason, or just even finding out you were Filipino after like 2 years of following you was like, my mind exploded. And yeah, I was like, oh shit, we can have a voice in this thing. And then you find out in the Philippines, Kobe used to go there. And he's Jesus to them, you know, and now every player is like, oh, during the summer, I got to go to Asia. I got to go to the Philippines. Because just the love for basketball is so huge there. And there's books and there's articles out there, but why do you think our people are so in love with the game there?
It's a great question. Well, we are a people who love improvisation and making do with whatever's around you. And I think that lends itself well to the game of basketball. We love layups. We love crazy layups.
Yeah.
Like in Filipino basketball culture, the crazier the layup, the better. It's also wild that we're like the per capita shortest nation and love the sport where you got to be like 6'4" to do it.
They've also, with Euro steps lately too, there's now like new like iterations of Euro steps. There's a Pinoy step that just dropped. Like truly. Like they take a thing that's great and put it in their own words almost. So yeah, the improvisation thing
and the influence of American culture through our military. You know, we had a naval base there for a long time. Celtics and Lakers were popping off in the 80s, and those games were on TV there.
Yeah.
And it just blew it up over there. It blew it up.
It's wild to think that there was like black dudes in the military that was getting buckets out there. They're like a whole generation of people there saw were like, shit, I want to do that shit too. They try to get buckets too. But one thing I will say, I'm in a Filipino sandwich right now, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you, gentlemen. The Filipino community is amazing, but Manny Pacquiao's jumper is
whack.
One of the worst things I've ever seen. But I love watching him shoot it because he could literally fuck me up if I say anything about it.
That is an example of how much we love basketball. Is that one of the richest, most successful Filipinos ever spending his money creating leagues for him to beat them. Like Pacquiao is so trash, yet he has championships of these. He's like the Filipino Drake a little bit, where he's like he has broadcasts of him being good at basketball, but he's hired everybody else to do that.
It's so beautiful. I want to be that rich.
Yeah, I wanted to go out there for this the FIBA World Cup because I'm just imagining, like, we know the personalities and it's already happening on social media. People are talking about Ant being the future of the NBA. And I know people, I also don't think they understand how FIBA and the Olympics work. They're like, oh, why is the B squad out there? And it's like the Olympic guys don't go out there for FIBA. Like some of these guys, and so it's the young squad. So I'm really enjoying that because we're seeing like Ant, we're seeing Austin Reeves, we're seeing Tyrese Halliburton, we're seeing these young dudes not only playing together, but they're also going to experience the Philippines for the first time. What do you guys think about, some of those young guys getting that experience playing together, almost like it's a little bit of recognition that they're on their way up in the league? Like, does this basketball matter? I guess is what the question I'm trying to ask. Like,
no, I mean, look at this.
Trying to show them some love.
I know it matters. Don't get me wrong. Like, you want to gear up to the Olympics, but this is what this squad's supposed to be. And like, I do the show with Gil called the NF squad. I don't quite think it's that bad.
Yeah.
But for me, it's fun to see those guys that, the young guys that are out there getting it. Austin Reeves out there cooking. And it's wild. Like, Austin Reeves gets so much hate. And like, we've been telling people for literally the better part of a year, like, this dude is fucking nice. Like, just accept it and embrace it. Now they're seeing it on the world stage and they really got to deal with it. Ant's a legend. Obviously, we've had spent some time with him. I've eaten his cold Roscoe's before. That's my claim to fame. We did a shoot with Ant. We ordered Roscoe's for him. The shoot went a little longer. His Roscoe's got cold, so the person he was with was like, "Yo, Anthony Edwards don't eat cold Roscoe's," and they walked off. Then what Josiah Johnson does, went through in the microwave, and
just closed in on the cold Roscoe's, and we're just like
devouring it.
Yeah,
like, we're eating Ant's Roscoe's, and appreciate you. But to see the next step that he's even taking in his game, and you watching that Germany game and they're losing, it's like, damn, this is gonna be the one where they get packed up by the fucking fatherland. Like, yo, we can't lose to fucking Germany. No disrespect to German people, but we've been busting your ass for years in wars. We can't have it now. The tides turn and fucking, just we always have to kind of keep them in their place. But you got Schroeder out there going crazy, but Ant put the team on his back, Halliburton, Austin Reeves, the rest of those guys. So I'm rolling with that squad.
Austin Reeves' season average this upcoming season with the Lakers is what?
Shit, he's probably going to play fucking 75 to 82 games. LeBron may play 55, 80 may play 55. So I'd say at least 20.
Okay.
maybe like 22 if he's feeling real jiggy with it. But he's gonna be that third option now, right?
Yeah.
Other dudes gonna have to fall in line, like, and that's what I mean. I'm a black man in America saying this, so it's the truth.
Well,
Like,
that's
it's
what
real.
I was telling Jason earlier. Austin Reeves was like a bit for us for a little bit, where the season got so dark with like Russ, not vibing and like them losing every game. And then Austin Reeves coming in and like having some big games. We're like, oh, he's the GOAT. But he is inching closer to the reality of like he might be a real answer as to how far they get this season. So like, yeah, I think Austin Reeves it's insane. It's a fun story at the very least that the whitest kid ever. Like, what were we talking about before? Like, he had this big breakout, and what are we seeing now in LA?
Oh, the lemon daddy. We got to get him onto his next. We got to get him onto his next deal where he can get some real bread, and he doesn't have to do the lemon daddy.
Lemon
ads.
Daddy.
But that's Austin Reeves. He's huge now, and he's like, I got to do lemon daddy billboards.
I think he averages 18, 4, and 6.
Yeah.
That's legendary.
Yeah.
That's great.
Austin, it's a company called Lemon Daddy. They're up and coming.
They're up and coming.
Yeah, I'll take that one. I think for me, the Austin Reeves thing, and it didn't say necessarily started out as a joke per se, but obviously we had Caruso. Caruso goes to the Bulls.
Yep.
Caruso GOAT, all that shit that was going on. And I remember Austin Reeves started playing good at first, and people were like, yeah, he's better than Caruso. And I'm like, yo, that's fucking blasphemy, bro. Don't disrespect Caruso like that. Then later on in the season, I'm like, shit, he really might be better than Caruso.
Yeah.
This is no disrespect to Al Caruso. If you want to come back home, we will wait for you. We got 2 Lemon Daddy billboards waiting for you.
Daddies? Oh my God.
LemonDaddies.com.
You gotta buy that domain.
now.
Wait, so Josiah, who do you think? Do you like who's better?
I think Austin Reeves is better, just at least what we've seen in this sample size and the potential. Like that squad, they were fucking like 13th seed.
Yeah.
I was ready to get packed up all summer again by Warriors fans. Austin Reeves helped save me from that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different just because, Caruso's a defensive difference
Yeah,
maker.
yeah.
And Austin Reeves has an offensive bag that
Yeah.
Caruso will never have.
Yeah.
So it's, which one do you value more? But I think Reeves edges him.
The effort there is like very comparable. Like that's the only way to measure when one's an offensive specialist, one's a defensive specialist. Yeah, I mean, man, Lakers fans got lucky. Like I that is a luck thing because Caruso was like, why'd you guys trade away Caruso? I think even LeBron was like, oh my God, he's probably in Rob's ear. Like, do not fuck this up for me.
Give him the money. Fucking go into the tax a little bit, Jeannie. But then you realize, and no disrespect to Jeannie Buss, a great woman. I got a chance to meet her a few times. But she didn't have the bomber bag. She didn't have the bag like some of these
it's
other
a family business.
This is really a family. It's a $7 billion family business, but all that money's tied into the team. We can't get that bread unless we sell this shit.
Well, so I think that's what shocked a lot of us in this offseason is that we got Reeves for $55 million.
Yeah, I was surprised about that.
And then there's a story the other day that the Spurs were about to offer $100 million. Like, one, why does that story come out now? And is that real, or like how come he didn't demand a market that everyone was predicting?
I think for Reeves, he's a smart man. He understands the value that he has in Los Angeles. And again, I don't like shitting on cities, but you got to go to San Antonio. You're leaving LA to go to San Antonio for, I don't know what amount of money you could pay me to have to live there and be happy. Like, I'm being, I know, disrespect Shea Serrano, great man, fucking profound human being,
Shea.
Not shitting on your spot, but you've lived there. You enjoy it. Like these dudes, and I know the Lakers said they were going to match whatever any other team offered. So now if you're that team and the Lakers are going to take a week to wait and match that, and you can't spend up all that bread's tied up with what you think you're getting with Austin Reeves that you're really not going to get. But I don't understand that because it would have been a great fuck you to Jeannie and Rob Pelinka from another team just to throw that out there knowing they weren't going to match it. A team that didn't really need to worry about free agency and nobody's going to go there anyway. But, shout out to Austin for taking it.
This is LA. This is a town full of people who make their bones by hiding money, hiding how much money a project made, stashing money in different places. I think, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, Austin, he made a business decision, and I think it's the right one. I also think that, to what Joe was saying, the marketing opportunities, Lemon Daddy aside.
Bro, Lemon Daddy,
Hey,
he got that 4-year $100 million, 55 from the Lakers, 45 from Lemon Daddy.
Yeah. The marketing opportunities here in LA, you're close to, this is the center of media, movies, of television, all that stuff. Like, there are going to be opportunities here from him if he continues to play this well, which I think he will. He's legit. That make up for the base dollar amount of whatever salary another team could have offered.
Slide it under the table. Get it from Bob Iger.
You know,
That's why we're not getting paid as writers, because it's all going to Austin
Zaslav
Reeves.
and
CJ had to
Iger
give it to
Yeah.
Reeves.
are delivering brown paper bags to
Yeah.
like a random bus locker somewhere.
You like your AR-15 memes, you got to pay for them, buddy.
All right, that's it for NBA news, because I do want to play this last game with the last 15 minutes of this show. So we're going to take a break as we prep this and surprise these guys with this game we're about to play. All right, we're back on Casuals. If you watch the other episodes, you know we like to end the show with something a little bit out of the usual. I'm on my James Corden shit based on what we've been doing. So I'd like to introduce a new game that we came up with here at Casuals called 5 on 5. 5 on 5 is a trivia game that we came up with
Okay.
where we have a hat full of random NBA player names. That's another thing about Casuals, that we love presenting opportunities for talk about obscure players. So
okay.
each of you are going to pick out a name,
Okay.
and you have to name 5 things about them. And if you can't, you have to try one of these fucking weird, gross tasting sodas.
Oh, I think I'll be good at this one.
Yeah.
All right. So Max, actually, you want to come up here and just let's show the flavors before we do our first picking.
I'm hoping I pick Sharunas Marciulionis.
And I will say there's some easy ones and there's some hard ones.
The Lithuanian legend.
Okay, yeah. So we've got.
My dad played them for like 3 months with the Warriors. It was
See,
great.
you might know some of these motherfuckers
But they
personally.
did like a Lithuanian night or whatever. Was it Lithuania or Romania? I'm fucking smoking crack.
Lithuanian.
And I will give you
Lithuania.
guys the choice. Just again, I'm surprising you guys. You're doing this for free. I don't know why I'm punishing.
I
my
honestly want to
guests.
sample all those shit,
Okay.
but I'm just really curious what
Bacon.
Okay.
I'll fuck up a bacon
The
soda.
thing is, yeah, I can see it with
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of these. Peanut butter and jelly probably.
I'm interested.
Yeah,
You have
is
my
the one I'm most
attention.
interested in. This one is okay. Pumpkin spice, maybe.
easy.
Yeah.
See,
There's
I'm a bigger gentleman. I'll eat all these things
Yeah.
in their food form, so I have no problem drinking them.
sweet corn.
I love corn.
Yeah.
Big fan of corn.
Corn is
Okay.
delicious.
So it's just like these are the prizes then. Ranch dressing
Okay,
soda.
that's a little
is-
weird,
ugh.
but
A little weird, but I think it might actually be decent.
buffalo wing soda.
okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Is it Frank's or is it regular?
No, so it's like the Frank. It's like a
Okay.
a parody label.
Okay, for sure.
It's Lester's Fixins. You know this guy was super racist. Look at him. Like,
He's calling me the N word right now.
Yes.
okay, Josiah, you want to go
I'm
first?
doing things just to make the Maxes laugh.
That's kind of the point of the show. Oh shit, that one is really funny. That
You should just have all Slava Medvedevos in there.
all right, you go for it. Take the first one.
I was gonna try and do the frozen envelope, but I'll actually. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, Dwight Howard.
Oh wow.
Okay, that was easy.
Okay.
All right,
Think
all
about
right.
Dwight Howard.
Hey,
Oh,
don't look
be
at
careful
yours,
now.
Jason.
Yeah,
Don't look at yours
this is
yet.
what I feel like I was gonna get
Go
set
for
up
it.
into.
We're gonna do 5 each. We'll do 5 each.
Is it?
Oh.
Tidbits about
Yeah,
him?
yeah, and we'll fact check them if we have to.
Knicks legend Dikembe Mutombo.
Oh, there you go. These are
There's
relatively.
some
I've got
easy
Dwight.
ones.
These
Okay.
are like bigger fortune cookie thingies, but
Let's see your 5.
So Dwight Howard from Atlanta.
Okay, 1.
I don't want to say anything bad. I'm gonna get in trouble.
That's kind of we're trying to
played
present.
with the Orlando
it.
Magic.
Yes.
Pilfered Shaq Superman nickname
Yes.
from him. Was nicknamed Chocolate Shoulders at one point in his career.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's real. I didn't know that
Yeah,
one.
Chocolate
Chocolate
Shoulders.
shoulders.
And had a very tense relationship with Kobe Bryant. All
Those are
things I can
facts.
prove.
Those
All
are all
things I can
facts.
prove.
All right, you survived this round, Jason.
Dikembe Mutombo played for Georgetown.
Okay.
Was part of a Nuggets team that upset the Seattle Supersonics in a famous 8-1 upset.
Bison Dele.
RIP. Played for the famous Allen Iverson Sixers finals team.
Yep.
Played for the New York Knicks and wore 55. What, one more?
One more.
And has Dikembe Mutombo, of course, is the most known of his names, but in between those two names are like 9 other names.
That doesn't count unless you know all of them.
I don't.
That's
Who want to
fucking-
sex Mutombo?
One of the things like it.
that. Okay,
I wish I could have just been there for that moment so I could crack up.
these guys aren't casuals. You guys are on here because you fucking know basketball.
A little bit.
All
We
right.
could just Make
We're
up
just
5 things
fans.
about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Big fan.
All right, it gets harder. I feel like
Okay,
this is
yeah.
great. 2 obvious ones out of the hat.
want to do 10 for the record.
No, we can't do 10.
Arvydas Sabonis.
There we go. That's somewhat harder.
Ooh, the good Sabonis.
That's
No,
like a
sorry.
medium
I
level
didn't
one.
mean that.
But it's like the USSR counts, right? I don't know which individualized satellite company or country he was from. But he's Lithuanian too.
It was
right?
Lithuania.
Lithuanian.
Yeah.
We'll play with the USSR.
Is
Had
that
janky,
2 or 1?
well,
That's 2, okay.
janky knees.
Yes.
At
Son
what
of-
stage? Because he was like 80 when you started playing the NBA.
So my dad, and we'll just go out, and this will count as one of my
Please.
facts, but Dad used to tell me the story, like before he came over, this dude was literally like dunking from free throw line
Yeah.
and shit. So everybody knew about Arvydas. And then played with the Blazers with that legend. I think predate the Jailblazers crew, but somewhere
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
that time. But with,
there
with
was
all
an
those-
overlap, right?
there was
Yeah,
some
some
overlap
overlap.
in that. I think it was that 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think that's 5. You told a story.
All right.
It's like,
It was dunking from free throw line. I'll never forget that. My dad's
Okay,
Arvydas,
there we
bro.
go.
We rock with him.
Gilbert Arenas.
yeah, shout out Gil.
Gilbert Arenas began his career with the Warriors when they were in a really tough time, famously because of where he was drafted. They ended up changing the NBA rule about how you could pay players that you selected in the second round because Gilbert was just able to leave after having a wonderful season
God
with the
damn,
Warriors.
yeah.
Gilbert Arenas.
That's your first one, Jason?
yeah.
That's so fucking
Gilbert
good.
Arenas owned a Major League Gaming Halo 2 team.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Gil owns a lot of shit. It's wild. It's
Like
wild.
Gil was about professional gaming at the he's a pioneer level about like he
Damn.
was about Halo. Famously put shit in a teammate's shoe and then DM'd me years later that it was dog shit. It wasn't human shit.
That's a fact.
Hosts a podcast with this gentleman sitting next to me. Is it 5? Okay.
Yeah,
great.
that's
Got
fine.
it.
No, that's fine.
Can I just tell you a random
Gilbert?
Gilbert Arenas tidbit?
Please,
Yes, please.
So we were he got honored in DC, I think earlier this season. They had like a Legends Night, him, Karan Butler, and Anton Jameson. So we're at dinner and like, we're at dinner with a couple people and they're like, "Hey, what you been doing?" He's like, "I mean, I've been watching all these cow videos." He's like, "Yeah, I own like 1,100 cows." I was like, "What the fuck? Hey, you fucking own cows?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I watch all these cow videos on YouTube just trying to like find the right ones and studying and researching whatever." He's like, "I got like a farm like somewhere around, I don't know what state it's in, but he has a farm with like thousands of cows." He just like
Who runs it?
There's so much shit with Gil, and it's like when you just listen to him and think about but okay, that makes a lot of sense. I would definitely like every time we do the show, there's like 10 random people at his crib that he has
I
some
love
type of
it.
business situation going on with.
That's great. Okay, I'm gonna pick some name. We got to make this interesting. Is
Okay.
that all right with you
Yeah.
guys?
Go ahead.
Please.
Okay, here. Pick literally anyone. All right, give this
picked
other
two,
one.
and you fucking told us to pick one of the. Oh, Frank Kaminsky, Wisconsin, Caucasian.
Wait, can we say? We can't just say.
Yeah, you can't change the rules. These are facts. Wisconsin.
We'll give you 2.
Play with the Hornets. Fuck. No.
All right,
I
all
lost.
right. Jason.
Omer Ashik. Turkish.
What?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Big man.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's a
Yeah.
fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah. A defensive specialist.
Okay. Let's see where you're at.
Do we call them white? Is he a white guy? Turkish guy?
He's closer to the
Caucasian?
Caucasus Mountains. than I would
Caucasus
say.
Mountains are right
I'm
there.
just saying, he's closer than most of the people on this list.
We're 4-ish. We're 4-ish.
Played for. Who did he play for? The Rockets,
I think he had a year in the Rockets.
right?
Where's he at now?
I think he's out.
He's out.
He's out the league?
Yeah, he's
oh,
out.
damn. All right.
Let's check it.
Omer
O-M-E-R.
Ashik. ASIK.
I feel like we'll give it to you, Josiah. Which flavor would you like to?
Let me try.
Nice.
Let me try the. Let me go with the bacon. Fuck it.
Bacon? Okay, that's great. That's the one I wanted to see. Max, you want to pour this?
Let me try that peanut butter
You want
jelly.
to try? Great. This is really what I would just. You guys
Yeah.
are getting to try.
Fenerbahce, he's a legend. Like my older brother played in Turkey, and one of my other buddies actually played for Fenerbahce.
What was his experience like?
So my older brother.
Who's their rival? Who's Fenerbahce's rival?
Shit, no. I
Besiktas?
could not tell
Yeah.
you. But he played for another team though. But he's a legend, so he could literally go to any country and become a superstar.
Okay.
So I literally think he moved to Turkey and was like dating like the most famous singer in the country, and like, but it's just like he would like come back with all these amazing stories. I'm like, bro, I couldn't do any of that shit. I would just sit in the room and stare at the wall all day. But he was a legend out there.
All right, Josiah, go ahead and give us your review of the bacon soda. Oh, that's a gulp.
It tastes more like bacon bits soda and not like bacon.
Yeah. So it's like
so-
that fake bacon.
For the larger people watching the show, you can tell the difference. Or people who had a grandmother like me who kept the bacon bits at the crib. Like, oh, fucking bacon bits as a kid were fucking.
Yeah.
Yo, bacon bits.
What happened to bacon bits?
I don't know.
Stop doing it.
They don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
You can't have bacon in your cupboard for
bacon
like
and
years.
Because it was, but you could put in eggs. You would like the bacon bits, like scrambled eggs, some of the best shit I've ever had as a child. But it tastes more like bacon bits than bacon. But I could down this whole thing and not really.
Okay.
Hold on, let me take one more. No. Oh, okay, yeah. I can't drink a whole thing.
Jason, remind us what you got.
Peanut butter and jelly. Oh, I taste it.
Is it accurate?
It is bizarrely accurate. It tastes a little like mouthwash, but if they water it down,
Okay.
and it has a little bit of the jelly really pops out. The jelly really pops out. I'm not getting the notes of peanut butter.
No peanut butter
Lester,
notes.
up your peanut butter game, dog.
Yeah.
Is this Lester's
These are
company?
all Lester's fixins.
Wow, Lester.
I really want you guys
Can
to
I
try-
see the bottle?
Yeah, absolutely.
See this.
It does look refreshing.
I
too.
feel like Lester's the like Colonel Sanders was a real man. I've been watching a ton of History Channel, like all these famous food things. But Colonel Sanders is a real man that perfected his chicken, literally learned how to make it quick. I think he needed to get in like under 10 minutes, so he fucking forgot what it was, but I don't feel like this is a real guy though.
This can't be a real guy. This looks like former Vermont Senator Leahy.
That's his alter ego. He just loves making weird ass sodas. All right, that was the third one. All right, two more. I'm gonna give you this. Sorry, I'm just trying to make it interesting. We should have made the names harder and give that one
No,
to
because
Jason.
you set us up last time, CJ. You betrayed our friendship.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Ron Baker.
Ron Baker. I almost gave
the
it to Jason.
legend, Ron Baker.
So you would know Ron Baker more than
Knicks
me.
legend.
Yeah.
Looks like Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
Yes.
Played with the Knicks.
Yes.
Did he go to Wichita State? No,
Ooh.
am I smoking crack?
No.
We can fact check it. Is that
Fact check
it?
I think you're right. Shockers.
Fact check me. Yeah, Wichita State.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
But you gave me other information on here. So he went to high school at Scott City in Scott City. I didn't digest enough other info on
Okay,
it. So I'm just
we
gonna
got
go off on
three.
the four.
We got three.
I'm
Or four.
good. I give
You're
up.
done. Okay.
Long Island legend
Wow, I did not know that. One.
Tom Thomas Gugliotta.
Oh, the ledge.
The legend Tom Gugliotta broke through with with Max's Timberwolves. Was an all-star. Is from Huntington Station, Long Island. Has janky knees, and that kind of brought his career down.
Yeah.
Because he was really going to be something special.
On the Suns, correct? Was he on the Suns at that time?
When the janky knees
Yeah.
happened, it might have been the Wizards/Bullets.
Ooh, okay.
Did he started Bullets right then went to Timberwolves or
That's
other way
what I
around?
thought. Bullets.
Yeah, Bullets,
Timberwolves.
then Timberwolves. Yeah.
Gotcha. Damn, I'm old as fuck, man. I
Yeah.
just remember basketball cards.
Yeah, but he could get up too and shoot it. Like he was a good player.
I think we need one
Let's see
more.
what else. Played for multiple teams, including Minnesota, the Bullets, and the Suns.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Josiah, I don't want to suggest any for you, but ranch dressing is the one I'm most
Yeah, give
curious
me
about.
ranch. Give me-
Here, I'll do ranch as well.
Yeah, that everything I said about that bacon was a lie. I can only have what I just had. I just you can pour mine in the same. I'm regular.
Jason, would you like to try?
Yeah, I don't like the viscousness of the. I will say, will you watch? Can you
Wait, why?
wait, pour it,
Oh.
and really get close. Can you get a close up of him pouring
Here.
it into a glass?
I'm gonna pour it
Watch
into.
this. Just look at this. Yeah.
Ugh,
Oh,
come on.
God.
now. It all settles at the bottom. This
You
is
know
not
what
that
this
kind of
looks like.
show.
You know what this looks like.
That changed the setting for the posting
okay,
this.
once it dissolves a little bit.
Okay, you ready? Cheers, guys. That's nasty.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not the one.
rank.
Yeah.
That is not the one.
That
for
is
us.
No.
That is not the one.
Oh
No.
my gosh.
Bro,
Do you guys need water? You guys
If you
good?
can give me a
That's
big
gross.
chicken wing, you just give me a big Hooters. It
Here's
has
a
to be
chicken
Hooters.
wing. How about a chicken wing soda?
It has to be Hooters.
There's a Hooters down the street now too.
Oh, really?
It's called Hoots. It's not a real Hooters.
Oh, okay, no.
I also
And I don't go to Hooters for the women. I go
not a real Hooters.
no, I mean, but I like Hooters,
Yeah.
and I feel like I am
I'm just a chicken
respectable
wing
man.
connoisseur.
I like Hooters too.
But they used to charge for ranch dressing. That's my big no for
No,
any.
you can't.
You can't do that as
Yeah,
a
what's
hot
that?
wing establishment.
All right.
So I used to bring my own ranch in my college days. You remember 25-cent wings? I got my former college teammate Ryan here with us.
We got to make this harder.
We were-
Okay.
Hooters wings, 25 cents. Like 10 of us would go, we get like fucking 200 of them. Like we were poor college students, we were fucking just dominant.
Oh, hell
wings.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm bringing my own ranch though,
Okay.
like the Wish ranch or whatever the cheapest.
All right.
one.
This is the last one. I'm gonna give you.
I
you
don't
you
know
guys have known almost all these, which is fucking incredible. And then pass this one to Jason.
And that ranch soda fucking was.
That was
fuck.
gross. Even before I like hit my throat, it was
Wretched
like, nasty.
Wretched shit.
Boban Marjanovic.
Big man,
Bobby.
Boban.
What
Goes
you know
by the
about
nickname
Boban?
Bobby. Was good friends with Tobias Harris. Has a slew of great commercials. Play with the Clippers. Play with the Sixers.
All right, that's fine. Yeah.
I know. Oh, it was in Hustle. Good actor.
Yeah.
NBA champion. No, never mind.
Did he get it? No, he got
Bobo.
it. Right. He would. No, wait.
Yeah.
Did he start out with the?
Yeah, he did. That
He would have
counts,
got
right?
a default ring, right?
Default ring. NBA
The
champion.
Nuggets
Bobo.
before.
I
Yes.
think so, right?
Wow, legendary.
Or no? Did he start with?
I think
I-
Bones was.
anyway.
I don't know if Bobo was.
Bol, son of Manute Bol,
Yep.
Legend.
is 7 foot
Hey,
8.
why are you looking him up?
Much like his father, has a game sort of similar to his father, but more 3-point heavy. Can handle it, but shouldn't.
That's
Bold.
an opinion. That's an opinion.
No Bobo Slender.
Is what is his second year in the league?
No,
No.
Bol. I
Bol
think
Bol?
it's his third or
Three or
fourth.
four,
Yeah,
yeah.
three or four. Yeah.
Gosh, I haven't been tracking Bol that much. Has been beset by some injury issues. Spent some time in whatever they call the G League now. And what else?
I think that's 5. But
I-
you got any more?
I'm a fan of Bol. I thought Manute Bol was one of the most entertaining.
Incredible.
players I've ever
Incredible.
seen
My
in
dad
life.
played for the Warriors 1989-90 for like 8 to 10 games, but on that team was Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, Chris Mullen,
Woo!
Manute Bol.
That's crazy.
And to watch him slingshot 3-pointers was like one of the highlights of my youth.
It was crazy at the time when that was happening. People were like, "Oh, what a sideshow!" He should have kept doing that.
Yeah.
He would have been like a devastating weapon if they would have just let him keep doing that.
It's no, it's crazy. I mean, the Suns just picked up Bol, and I think they have full intentions on playing him. And like, he's on some squads. So,
We'll see. Bo, we're praying for you.
all right, I'm gonna take a swig of this Buffalo Wing soda just as
Ooh.
appreciation.
Yeah, pour it in the ranch with me. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, they go together.
Give me a swig.
Actually,
Is it spicy?
no. It tastes like orange soda. To be honest, it tastes like flat orange soda. Oh,
Oh, double down.
It tastes like the Santa Monica Hooters. 2002, 2003.
guys, thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
the show. Like, for real, it's an honor. I know how busy you guys are, but, and I've said this to you before, like, you guys kind of laid out that you can do this and have like inspired me, fucking gave me some wisdom. Your friendship has been huge for me. And like, I know when I got this job of working in basketball, I was like, I'm gonna do this for a year and then this shit's gonna go away. But everyone, like, with everything you guys have done and like created, we keep pushing it, that this thing is a job now. And
it pays
I just
bills.
want to say I appreciate your guys' friendship and your mentorship. And yeah, thank you for everything you guys have done.
Appreciate you. A lot of legends on this couch. I was really happy we connected and we were texting during the tournament. It really made me. I'm a very not miserable. I have kids, but that's just what the life is. Multiple. And it's not like
Beautiful family.
It's beautiful. It's great, but it's
Beautiful
like multiple t-ball practices and all this other
Yeah.
shit, and it's just like
You live on the west side. You drove over here to Pasadena.
Yeah, you
It's
know what I
crazy.
mean? So for me, like be able to do shit like this to get out of the house for a little bit
Yeah.
and get questioned when I
Same.
get home. Like, what were you doing? It's like, I was podcasting with CJ. Can't bother me.
Yeah.
Nothing sneaky, just podcasting.
Anything for you, CJ.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. I know we can't really promote shit, but just check out Gil's Arena. Check out everything
I
that
can promote-
Jason.
That's not WTF.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah,
I'm fucking living good right now.
You guys
Fuck
just
all the
if you
writers.
don't know
They
them,
do
Google
that.
their name. They're doing some fucking awesome shit. Check it out. This has been Casuals. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, whatever the fuck. Make this thing huge. But appreciate you guys for watching.